If you have never had an experience of your life before you came to Earth, or an experience of being born, or life after immediately you were born, which these are usually memories that our brains usually should not remember for some reason. So if you've never had those experiences, I would highly say do not watch this video, because I'm a big believer that our brains are really fickle, our brains are easily deceived, and I think that if you were to ever have those memories, they should be organic to you. But if you fill your mind with this information, if you go out there and you seek this information, then when you get those memories, you won't be able to know if those memories are yours or your brain is using other people's memories to create this. So I would say if you have never had such an experience, do not watch this, because also it's just not a good experience. It's not. Anyway, so I wanted to do this video for a while, but my brain, I will explain later, my brain kept saying do not. If initially my thinking was that if I can do the video, I will be able to connect with others. But right now, that's not my goal. I do not want to connect with others. This journey that was put upon me, I am no longer interested in it. I want to get off of the journey. And I think that I should do the video now for the reasons I had so many questions and it really messed my mind up. And I feel like maybe long after I am gone, somebody else might go through the same situation and maybe this video might help them. I don't know. Also, another reason why how I said I was going to do the video is because my brain does not, I think I say that already. My brain kept saying, don't do it. People will think you're crazy. Don't do it. And then I realized that my brain is, anyways, that will be after. Another thing that I would say is that my story, oh, also a disclaimer. I have, in my journey since this happened, I have attempted to look into other people who have had similar experiences, and I have realized that, so I need to do a full disclaimer because I think that's also important. I have bad insomnia. I will say that later in the story, and because of that, I used to take prescription sleeping medicine, but I stopped years ago, 7 years ago, and I started taking Benadryl. So I do take Benadryl. Actually, I have it here. I take 4 pills. I think it's 25 milligrams each. So I take 4 of them, and I still struggle with insomnia. So I'll usually fight the sleep still, but that's one of the medications that I take. I also take other, what would be considered psychiatric medicine, but it's different kinds of amphetamines for my ADHD. That's about it. On that day, the only medication that I was on was I did take the Benadryl. Used to consume like wine before I go to sleep. I haven't done that in a while. It just went away. So I had not consumed alcohol on that day. But I do want to give a full disclosure here. Another thing that I should disclose, what else? Well, am I crazy? I think everyone is a little bit crazy, and I am. I'm not going to say I'm not a little bit crazy. I am crazy to where sometimes I think, oh, I wonder when the CIA was investigating how to control people's minds, what if they found a solution? What if they did, and what if they control our brains? Like, I'm that kind of crazy. I'm not the birds aren't real crazy. I'm not the earth is flat crazy. I am not the government is controlling our clouds crazy. I don't even believe in aliens. I do, but I don't believe in UFOs being aliens. That doesn't make sense to me. If you have the technology to travel so many light years away, why on earth would you be accidentally caught by humans? You can kidnap a cockroach and find out everything about us. I feel like all UFOs are just government flight stuff that they don't want to reveal. So, but am I a bit crazy? Yes. I do believe in some conspiracy theories here and there, but that's about it. I will also disclose here, I am not religious at all. That worship gene clearly skipped me a lot. I am not religious at all. I don't question things about who created this. I have ADHD. I am an ENTP. I'm a very factual person. For me, everything is about what can you prove? How can you prove this and this is this? And because to me, religion requires belief in the unknown. It's just not for me. I have this Buddhist thing that happened after, but I just religion is just not for me. So that's another disclosure. So anyway, I'll get to the story now. I'm sorry for all of that. I'll get to the story. And I can talk really fast if I want to because I have ADHD. I talk really fast. So this is what happened. And I typed it down. I wrote it down in my notes when the incident happened. And I will say the reason why I wrote it down is because I know that the brain deletes informations. especially if something is traumatic or shocking to your brain will delete it. So if you ever experience anything, even if it's a crime or anything, you want to write it down immediately, because otherwise your brain will start deleting and adding stuff. So anyway, last month I was listening to a National Geographic documentary to fall asleep. So this is what I posted on a group that I will talk about later. They were talking about plants, and I had this thought, why are we here? I was falling asleep. I had taken Benadryl and I was laying in bed. I was in the house alone. It was a thought, but it's almost like it was a question that someone or something decided to respond to. It felt like a voice inside your head responded to me. I meant it felt like a voice inside of my head responded to me. I suddenly had a vision. It was like a deja vu. The voice, which felt like my usual inside voice, was in the vision, but not within me. Rather, it sounded like a voice next to me and behind me and all over. It said, "What a silly question. Don't you remember why we came?" At the same time, I was looking down in space, but not from above. It was to the side, but I was looking at Earth. Everything else around it looked like darkness with stars. I don't remember seeing the sun or the moon, but I was facing the side of Earth that was obviously lit because I could see the green land and blue water. Actually, I could see green and blue, and I assumed it was nothing, nobody told me, but I just assumed the green was like a forest and the blue was water. I could try and grasp more of what I was seeing or what the purpose was, the vision was gone. I've been really troubled. So I was writing in the group, this was a month later. I was really troubled since, but each night I tried to have deep thoughts about what I saw. Then suddenly I feel a fear around me, like something isn't right. And my unusual inside voice saying, maybe it's best you don't ask too much because it might be scary. I was raised religious, but I became an atheist as a teen. It felt more moral to do the right thing, not because I was scared of hell or a God, but because I wanted to do it. I also don't question my purpose. I know it's to leave the world a better place. I was only questioning our purpose here as a species, not just me. I'm still confused on the vision. So I posted this. I found a community a month later. I was really troubled. I will say that since I had this vision, it happened in September. I went into full isolation. Let me not act like anything has changed. I stopped talking to people. I stopped interacting with people. I did not celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving. I had a birthday. I did not celebrate my birthday, which is very strange. I used to celebrate my birthday for a whole month. I used to be big about my birthdays. I did not celebrate my birthday last year. I still have gifts that I received that I never opened. It really messed up my mind because it was so freaking real. I was looking at Earth before coming to Earth. And that was my vision, and that's all I can say. Anything beyond that is speculation. And from the community, I'm not going to share the community name because it's a very small community. And I think it's best that the community stays only for people who have questions about the experiences and not people just asking general questions about stuff. The community is for people who have had these kinds of visions as well, or who have memories of themselves before coming to Earth. You can go online. If you have this kind of experiences, you can go find out other things online. There's a lot of information online as well. Like I said, if you have never had this vision or memories, do not go seeking. It was really troubling for me, and it still is. And I really I don't know why. I wish I could go back and not have had that experience, because one thing that has also changed is that I feel very detached from Earth. I think I always used to feel like I miss a home. I used to feel like there's a home away from here and I miss it. And I don't want to ramble too much because everything else is me rambling. That has nothing to do with the vision. But the other thing was that after that vision, and when I was questioning so many things and questioning my inner voice, because my inner voice was there, but my inner voice sounded to me like it knew more than I do. My inner voice, usually I feel like it's like we're discovering things together. But no, my inner voice knows things more than I do. And I will say I started feeling trapped. I felt trapped by my inner voice. I remember having constant thoughts. I don't want to come back to Earth. I don't want to come back here. This is a miserable place. Why would I even choose this? And then one day, suddenly I was really happy. And I was like, you know what? I think when I leave this place, I will come back again. I think I want to come back and experience Earth again. And I was like, wait a minute. That's not my voice. And I realized that sometimes my inner voice does gaslight me. And honestly, I'll say I started having arguments with my inner voice. I know that sounds like I have freaking bipolar. But I started having arguments with my inner voice. I didn't trust my inner voice. And if you want to learn more about your inner voice and the lie, there is a really good science experiment that was done. I think the procedure is called a lobotomy. Not sure. They cut your lobes into two. It was supposed to treat epilepsy, but instead, scientists discovered that our brains lie to us. That inner voice is actually not 100% truthful. So you can actually listen to those experiments and what they discovered and even make your own conclusion. But since that day, I've had a lot of questions. And the thing is that I realized that if I continue in this journey, I will never be able to live life. And I think that I already made a choice to come to Earth and experience something, so I might as well experience it. But to me, everything is like a video game at this point. I'm just here for the vibe. I don't get it. I don't know what. I wish my vision gave me more information. It did not. But clearly, the vision was trying to tell me that I am really silly for not remembering. And obviously, the reason why we don't remember is the same way when you have a traumatic incident, you don't remember, even if it was yesterday, because your brain will delete that information. It will not give you information that is traumatizing. And I will say, this has been a very traumatizing vision, so I can see why the brain does not want to give me more answers. Also, the fear. I do get really scared if I try to inquire more. I feel like this fear from inside. The fear feels like something is telling me, I don't know if it's intuition. So let me tell you how crazy I am once again. I've missed some things. I have no problem going to a cemetery. I even enjoy going to cemeteries for walks. They're very peaceful. They're a reminder of the beauty of life. But I am scared when I inquire these questions within myself. I have this fear that comes from inside that is telling me, stop asking questions. You don't want to know about the answers. And usually I'm a very inquisitive person. If you tell me that, usually I'm like, no, I do want to know. But in this situation, honestly, I don't want to know. I no longer want to know. I'm no longer seeking any answers to it. I have remained in the group to help answer other people's questions. Sometimes people will ask, hey, in your vision, did you have this? And I'll be like, well, I had a similar vision and this is what I saw. I did not see any religious being like a god. Other people say that they see a guide guiding them. I did not see a guide except for that voice. And I will also say that in my vision, initially I had asked, why are we, not me, why are we here? And in my vision, the way it felt, it wasn't me looking at Earth, it was me and others. There was others among me. I don't know how to explain it, but it wasn't just me. I don't know how to explain it, but I really want to just make this video, put it out there, and forget this memory. Forget that it ever happened. I don't care for answers anymore. We're all clearly on the same journey, heading to the same place. I will see you on the other side, and then we will get the answers.